Okay, there we are. Welcome. This is mini lesson 11. I think, well, so what I'm doing here is I'm putting together like four mini lessons on, which is kind of a big deal when we do Physics 1, but we cover it in like 2 days or so, and it's not very interesting. But this one, this has real world applications to sport. And so today we're going to look at the high jump, and we're going to, what else we're going to, and the long jump. Okay, two things that involve running up and doing projectile motion. Now the long jump is, sorry, let me quit. And it is possible. I did do it without, where did he go? No. All right, so anyway. So I just wanted to have myself up in the corner for introduce each mini lesson. And we're going to have one more, and that will be on home runs, on the setting up the base for the home runs. And then you'll have kind of a, then your exercise number 7, which is not there, as I told a student, was the essay that I was having you write on your math experiences as you were growing up. And I have read, to be honest, I've kind of gaffed that off a little bit, not on purpose. I just have had other things going on, but as you do too, so you can gaff off my course too, right? But anyway, I've graded like 15 of them, and I noticed that there's 84 that have been completed. So 90% of you have it done, but let's keep working on it. Let's get that done. And I should have them. And what I'm doing is I've got a little tally sheet here of how many I've graded. I'm going to try and do 12 to 15 a day. And so in 7 or 8, most of them, almost all of them. The ones I've read have been exactly what I was expecting. And I don't mean to take, and I'm not saying, I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean it in a good way. There's like 3/4 of you had great math experiences until you got to, it's like a third, a third, and a third. A third of you had great math experiences until you got to the times tables and the way they do the timed the survival of the fittest crap that they do with teaching third graders the times tables. For a lot of kids, for me, it wasn't a big deal. I don't know why. It didn't bother me. I kind of like the competition or whatever. It's probably because I'm a guy too, and have a competitive streak in me. But for some, but I don't like to compete in things like that require great speed, physical speed, because I'm slow. I'll race any 55-year-old and older I'll pick off the street at random in a 3-mile race. But however, if we go to a sanctioned 10K type thing, I'll get my butt kicked as an older. But anyway, for some, first of all, you had the stage fright. Some people were called to the board and were expected to do it. I mean, it's just horrible. It's just horrible. So that's about a third of them. Another third loved math up through, just thought it was fun, and your elementary teachers made it fun for you, and you're looking at shapes and things like that, and it just made sense. You're like, okay, this is good. This is good. Then you got to intermediate algebra. Then you got to junior high, and you got into what we call intermediate algebra or pre-algebra. And all of a sudden, they're starting to throw these stupid variables at you. All of a sudden, they're starting to throw all kinds of exercises at you, ad nauseum, homework every night. You don't understand it to start with, and now it's really hard. And some of your friends just seem to get it, and the teachers don't care, and they suck, and they're terrible. Some of you were very good, though, about saying, I had a great teacher. She or he was really nice, and they really tried to help me, but I just couldn't get it. It's just, I just stuck. And so the math wheels fell off there. Another third of you, no problems, all the way through, but you just kind of thought math was something I did. I wasn't really turned on about it. I had, out of the 12 though that I read, so about 8% loved math all the way through. Thought the math that they were doing up through until they got to college and into Calc 2 and 3, thought it was kind of boring and kind of silly. And then once they started doing really high level math, like where you're doing geometric proofs that have never been done before and things like that, learning linear algebra, using statistical software, those kinds of high math things. She really loved math then, but she was always good at it. So that's about the gamut that I expect to run. So without without anything further on my part, I'm sorry. I just kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit about the lesson 6 essays that I've been reading, and they were great. The exercise, and I promise, and I have made it so that you do get comments back. I don't know how it. I don't know if you get notified or what, but I did have on there. I checked the yes. I'm going to give you comments, and when I write the comments back, you are getting. I don't know if you get notified that you have comments on your thing or not. So anyway, thank you very much for doing that, and I hope you enjoyed that lesson. We're going to have some more. Once we get done with the home runs here and this lesson, I'm going to have another lesson that talks about food and how we eat, and it's going to teach you how to read Scientific American. All right? It won't be bad. It's not going to be that scary, and it'll be good. So we're going to have like 4 mini lessons that build up to this projectile motion in sport, and then we're going to so that'll be exercise 7, and then we'll jump right into an exercise 8, which is like read these 3 Scientific American articles that I think you'll really enjoy, and do that, and we'll be good. Okay, so enough of me yakking. Oh, by the way, the Chiefs are just to let you know, this is current. The Chiefs are 5-1. I watched the last 5 or 6 minutes of that game, and I think to have you listen to a podcast from Only a Game about the NCAA and paying players, paying athletes. I know some of you are just like, oh my God, we already give them a college scholarship and everything else. There's a lot of caveats to NCAA, to athletic scholarships. One is they're renewed every year by the coach. 2, if you change coaches. So if you change coaches, you don't get a scholarship. 3, if you want to go to your own doctor, it's not covered. All right, your things aren't covered, and there have been a lot of cases of abuses. Now here at UMKC, we're not a big money. In fact, our athletic department's probably just break even, if that, and that's the way it should be. And the student athletes that I have, and I've got several sitting out there right now listening to this, so I have to, and I don't have to be careful because they do great work, and they are student athletes. But there's definitely, the NCAA is definitely too big for its britches. It makes $12 billion a year, and it makes it, let's call it what it is, it makes it on the backs of very good African American athletes. That's, if you watch college sports, if you watch big time college football, who are the stars? Who's bringing in the revenue? Who's not getting paid a damn dime, except for their college education, which they, at that level of play, their education, I'm not so sure. Big time college basketball, men's basketball. Those are the two big revenue producers. They're the only revenue producers of the NCAA. But they make enough. And they're making it off the backs of players that aren't getting a dime of the money. Just throwing that out there. We're going to look at that probably at the end of the semester. All right. Thank you. So have fun with this. This one's a pretty straightforward little lesson.